evening, Tata will be translating for us. So, thank you for being willing to do that. So, this evening we're going to talk about something which is quite common in many traditions, such as Christianity, but is somewhat less common in other traditions, such as Buddhism. And that is prayer. Prayer is something that many teachers, including the teacher that we're focusing on right now, Pilgrim, have talked about quite a bit. Pilgrim was clear in her writing that she wasn't affiliated with any particular religious tradition. But it seems that she was primarily influenced by Christianity. And as she grew and as her teachings changed, she spoke in ways that were more and more inclusive of various worldviews, including Buddhism. And she had an approach to prayer which moved the people who listened to her in a direction closer to that of Buddhism. A lot of the time, we ask for things, but she taught that the primary purpose of prayer isn't to get things. And this is a very common approach in most Buddhist traditions. So it's not said that we shouldn't pray at all. It's just said that the purpose of prayer is to move from trying to get things to awakening, to something that we can't imagine. So she said that naturally we might begin by praying by asking for things. As she puts it, telling God what to do. And this has its place in a spiritual practice. In the way that I teach, I generalize many different methods of practice into 4 categories. One is what we think of as prayer, the cultivation of certain states. So that would be a cultivation of a certain internal state, the intention for things to be better in the world for ourselves and others. As we cultivate that, there are other forms of practice that we can mature. And one of them is a very restful state of concentration, which is, you know the word shamatha? Maybe not. It's before vipassana. You know vipassana? So what you do before that is you calm and settle. So you can also cultivate a very calm, settled, concentrated awareness.
So the Paramaku with the tap there. Sit down there, Sudamagai, Kampo, not a kuale, Wipafana, Yagima, a chain in the Kushikidamana, a chain in the Kum, the Yabu Drachite.
Once we have that, then we can enter what I call observation techniques. That means we pay very close attention, and most of the Vipassana techniques fit into this category. We can also do an inquiry practice, and this is quite common in Zen Buddhism, but it's also very common once a person has done quite a bit of Vipassana. In the Theravadan tradition, oftentimes the Ajahn, the master, will give a question to the student, a question that's impossible to answer intellectually. So, some of you may have heard of Ajahn Lee, also known as Dhammadharo Bhikkhu. He was a famous Thai master.
So Ajahn
means Sayadaw. It's the same word. He trained with Ajahn Mun, and near the end of his training, Ajahn Mun asked him the following question. He asked him, how do you know the difference between wisdom and ignorance?
Ajahn Man made it. The Megon Banesuro. The demon moves around it, the demon is around it.
He said, ignorance is a kind of knowing, and wisdom is a kind of knowing. How do you know the difference? What is it that knows the difference between the knowing that is wisdom and the knowing that is ignorance?
So the demon and the demon.
Now this is a question that we can't answer by thinking it through. And there are many different kinds of inquiry practice that we can do. In Zen, there's something called the koan practice, which is probably the world's most elaborate and sophisticated form of inquiry practice. But there's also doing nothing. Another technique is that we don't do any technique. And this also exists in a number of forms of Theravada Buddhism and also in other traditions around the world.
နောက်တစ်ခုကဘာမှမလုပ်ဘဲနဲ့ပေါ့နော်။ဘာနည်းနာမှမယူဘဲနဲ့လုပ်တဲ့နည်းတွေလည်းရှိတယ်တဲ့။ထေရဝါဒမှာလည်းဒီလိုလုပ်တဲ့နည်းတွေရှိတယ်တဲ့။တခြားကဘာတွေမှာလည်းရှိတယ်တဲ့
And when we talk about prayer, when Peace Pilgrim talks about prayer, we're actually talking about various techniques, various ways of praying.
ထေရဝါဒ
The way Peace Pilgrim talks about it, the way we're going to talk about it tonight. There are a number of different aspects of prayer, a number of different ways that we might pray.
ဒီခဏသူပြောတဲ့ဒီငြိမ်းချမ်းရေးနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့စာအုပ်နဲ့ညှောင်းရင်းတော့သူကပြောနေတာနော်။အဲ့ဒီစာအုပ်ထဲမှာတော့ဆွတောင်းနေဆိုတဲ့ဟာတွေသူကနည်းနည်းပုံများစွာနဲ့ပြပြထားတယ်တဲ့
So one way is to simply ask for things. In the United States, this is very common. We ask God for all kinds of things to help us pass a test, to help us win a sporting event, give us more money. We ask God for all sorts of things.
ဆိုတော့ဆွတောင်းနေဆိုတာကိုတော်များများလိုချင်တဲ့ဟာကိုတောင်းတကြတယ်ပေါ့နော်။ဒီအမေရိကန်မှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော်များများသူတို့ရဲ့ဘုရားသခင်ကိုလိုချင်တဲ့ဟာတွေစမှုပဲအောင်ပါစေငါ့ဘာပြပါညာပြပါအဲ့လိုဆွတောင်းတကြတယ်
Now, there isn't anything in particular wrong with this, but one of the reasons that I respected the Buddhist tradition is that while this certainly exists in Buddhist cultures, there's no question that people ask the Buddha for a ball to go in a certain location, for them to know an answer to a certain question about mathematics. While people do ask the Buddha for that, it's always known that that isn't really what Buddhism is for. And there's a knowledge that probably the Buddha doesn't really care where that ball goes.
ဗုဒ္ဓဘာသာမှာခြုံပြီးတော့သိထားကြတာဟုတ်ပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့လူချင်းတဲ့ဟာတောင်းတကြတယ်ဆိုပေမဲ့တဲ့ဆွတောင်းနေဆိုတဲ့ထဲမှာဒီကာကကိုလူချင်းတဲ့ဟာတောင်းဖို့ကြီးမဟုတ်ဘူးဆိုတာဗုဒ္ဓဘာသာနဲ့နောက်လည်းကြားတယ်တဲ့ဆွတောင်းနေဆိုတဲ့ဟာပေါ့ဒီဘောတော့ဝင်ပါစေဆိုလို့ဆွတောင်းခဲ့ပြီးမဲ့လေအဲ့ဒီရဲ့အနေလေးပဲအောင်မှာအများကြီးရှိသေးတယ်ဆိုတာသူတို့သိကြတယ်တဲ့ဗုဒ္ဓဘာသာ
But that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with praying in that way. In fact, there are benefits to praying in that way.
ဆွတောင်းနေဆိုတဲ့ထဲမှာအဲ့လိုဆွတောင်းနေမှာမဟုတ်ဘူးတဲ့ကိုလူချင်းတဲ့ဟာတောင်းတာပေါ့အဲ့လိုဆွတောင်းတဲ့ဟာမှန်တယ်လို့လည်းပြောလို့ရပါတယ်တဲ့
And one of the benefits is simply that we're practicing. We're getting better and better at creating certain mental states in our own minds. We're getting better at producing certain positive mental states in our own minds.
အဲ့လိုမျိုးလို့ရင်နေပေါ့နော်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့အထက်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ရင်ထဲကဟာညာပို့ပြီးတော့ကြက်မှာကြက်ခံလာတယ်ပေါ့တရားပို့ပြီးတော့ရင့်ကျက်လာတယ်ပေါ့ဆိုလုတ်ဖန်များလာတော့အဲ့လိုမျိုးသိပြီးတော့ဒီကမကြတဲ့ဟာတော့မှတဖြည်းဖြည်းနဲ့ရင့်ကျက်မှုတွေရှိပါတယ်တဲ့
So even though all we're asking for is to win a soccer match, that may be all we're asking for. And we know by just a little bit of analysis that we're also therefore asking for other people to lose that soccer match. Even though that's all that's happening, even though it's a selfish kind of prayer and a shallow kind of prayer, nonetheless, we're practicing, hoping that someone, in this case ourselves, will be happy.
ဆိုတော့ဘောလုံးပွဲကိုမှဘုရားဘောလုံးပွဲနေမှာဆိုတဲ့ဖြစ်တောင်းတယ်တစ်ဖက်ကလည်းကိုနိုင်နေဆိုတခြားသူတရားရှုံးမယ်ဆိုတာလည်းကိုသိနေတယ်အဲ့လိုလုပ်ခဲ့ပြီးမဲ့လည်းတကယ်တမ်းကျတော့ကိုပြောနေတာတစ်ဖက်ကလည်းဆွတောင်းတယ်တစ်ဖက်ကလည်းသူများကြဆုံးပါစေလို့ဆွတောင်းနေတယ်ဆိုပေမဲ့လည်းအဲ့လိုလုပ်ရင်လည်းဒီလူမှုတွေကကိုရင့်ကျက်စေတယ်တဲ့
So there's an awareness that someone, in this case ourselves, our teammates, suffer, and there's the hope that life will be better for us, that we'll have success and happiness. And because of that, there's a certain mental state of compassion that we're practicing giving life to.
ဘောလုံးကစားနေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်နားတဲ့လူတွေရှိတယ်တကယ်ကြီးနဲ့ငုံကြတယ်ရှုံးကြတော့လဲကြတဲ့လူတွေရှိတယ်အဲ့လိုဟာတွေတွေးတော့ကိုကသိတယ်အော်ရှုံးနေနေတယ်ဆိုတော့ဒီလိုရှိတယ်ကစားနေဆိုတာလည်းဒီလိုရှိတယ်ဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒီတရားကိုရလာတယ်
And that compassion, that act of practicing giving rise, arousing compassion for someone, that action can then be applied to other things as well.
ဆိုတော့ခဏလိုမျိုးတွေးကြုံမျိုးပေါ့ကိုလဲကြတယ်ကိုနားတယ်ရှုံးနေနေတယ်ဆိုတဲ့ဟာလက်ချင်းဖြစ်လာတယ်အဲ့လိုမျိုးလက်ချင်းနဲ့ဟာတွေလေတခြားနေရာတွေမှာပေါ့သုံးပြီးလို့ရတာဟာတဲ့အဲ့လိုမျိုးရနိုင်ပြီလား
And so while it seems that we're asking the Buddha for help winning a soccer match, it seems that we're asking God for help winning a soccer match. That seems like what's happening in that moment. If we look more closely, we see that even before we could ask that of them, we first needed to arouse compassion, a hope that the world would be better for at least myself in the future.
ဆိုတော့တွေးကြည့်လိုက်မယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တကယ်တော့ဖယားမကောကဘုရားဆိုရင်ဘုရားပေါ်တော့မှာကောကဘောလုံးခွက်နိုင်မှာဈေးလို့ရိုးရိုးသားသားလေးပဲဆွတ်တောင်းတာပါတဲ့ဒါပေမဲ့ဆွတ်တောင်းတယ်ဆိုတဲ့အစမှာကလေးကပုံတော့ကိုကူမှာကိုရဲ့ရင်ထဲမှာသူများကိုကောင်းလို့စိတ်ကဘာကြီးကိုကောင်းလို့စိတ်ဆိုတဲ့ဟာလေးရှိခဲ့တယ်တဲ့ရှိလဲရှိတဲ့နေတဲ့ဆိုတော့ကိုလွတ်လိုက်တဲ့ဟာလေးတကယ်တော့ဘောလုံးဘက်ကိုဆွတ်တောင်းတာပဲဒါပေမဲ့ဖြစ်ရမှလည်းကိုလုံးလက်ကြီးတယ်ဆိုတဲ့တရားမှာတရားတွေအများကြီးရှိတယ်ဆိုတဲ့အကြောင်းကိုပြောတာ
And from there, we can take a further step. And we can ask for all of us to be happy in the future. We can ask for that. May the world be a happier, more just place for all of us.
အဲ့ဒီကနေတစ်စင်ပေါ်တော့ကိုလေးပြည့်ရှိအောင်လုပ်တယ်တွေ့ကြုံရအောင်လည်းလုပ်တယ်တခြားသူတွေနဲ့ကိုယ်ကတွေ့ကြုံရအောင်လုပ်တယ်ကပိုင်းတို့လည်းကိုယ်ကဆွတ်တောင်းပေးပြီးတော့တွေ့ကြုံရအောင်လုပ်တယ်လေကပိုင်းတို့လည်းငြင်းရအောင်ကပိုင်းနဲ့ချီပြီးလို့ရတဲ့အကြောင်းကိုပြောတယ်
And from there, we can take the further step of setting aside asking somebody else for something and realizing that the real power here is in our own ability to give rise to compassion.
ဆိုတော့ပြန်တွေ့ကြည့်မယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကိုယ်ကတခြားတစ်ယောက်ကိုကိုလိုချင်တဲ့ဟာကိုလုတ်ခိုင်းနေတာပဲတဲ့ဆွတ်တောင်းနေဆိုတာဒါပေမဲ့လည်းအဲ့ဒီလုတ်ခိုင်းနေဆိုတဲ့နေရာမှာပေါ့တော့ကိုကနေပြီးတော့ကိုကတဲ့ကမှကိုမှအဲ့လိုမျိုးကောင်းမွန်တဲ့ချက်တွေရှိတယ်လုတ်ချင်ခိုင်းတဲ့ဟာကဘာအတွက်ကောင်းစေချင်တဲ့စိတ်ဓာတ်ရှိတယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီလိုမျိုးရလတ်တွေရှိတာပေါ့
So we've gone from saying something very clear that's selfish and yet compassion in a selfish way to the next step of saying something very clear, saying, I want the world to be a certain way. God, Buddha, please make the world be a certain way. We've said that. And we've given rise to that kind of compassion.
ဆိုတော့ဘုရားပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်သူတို့ဖျားပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်ပေါ့ကပိုင်းတဲ့ညီညာမှာစီကပိုင်းတဲ့ကောင်းပါစီဆိုလို့ကိုယ်ဆွတ်တောင်းတာပဲတဲ့အဲ့ဒီဆွတ်တောင်းရဲ့တဲ့နောက်မှာလေကိုယ်ကိုယ်တည်းကနေပြီးတော့အဲ့လိုမျိုးစိတ်သက်တွေရှိနေရတယ်တဲ့
And the next step, as it is described in the classical texts, including Pilgrim's work, the next step is to then drop those instructions, those words, those thoughts, those ideas, those concepts, to drop them and simply give rise to compassion.
ဆိုပရမတ်စင်ကဆွတ်တောင်းတာဆွတ်တောင်းပြီးတယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အဲ့ဒီကိုဖြစ်ချင်ဟာချင်တယ်ဆိုတဲ့ဒုတိယတစ်ဆင့်မှာတော့အကုန်လုံးဖြစ်ချင်တယ်ဆိုတဲ့ဟာကိုအကုန်လုံးကိုကခြံခဲ့ရမယ်ခြံခဲ့ပြီးတော့လုံးလုံးဝဝနှလုံးပြည့်တဲ့လူဖြစ်အောင်လုံးပြည့်တဲ့လူဖြစ်နိုင်အောင်ကိုကကြိုးစားရမယ်အစဉ်ရောက်လာတယ်တဲ့
And once we've given rise to that compassion itself, we can fill ourselves with that and we can send it out. And that also, that's a kind of prayer.
အဲ့လိုဆင်းရဲတဲ့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တကယ်ဒါနမြတ်တဲ့လူဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါနမြတ်တဲ့လူဖြစ်လာတဲ့အချိန်ကြတယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အဲ့ဒီလူကအရာရာနဲ့ပြည့်စုံပြီးတော့တခြားသူတွေရောသူ့ရဲ့ပတ်ဝန်းကျင်ရောအကုန်လုံးကိုသူကဆွတ်တောင်းပေးလို့ရတယ်ဆို ဆိုတော့ဆုတောင်းတယ်ဆိုတဲ့ဟာအဲ့ဒါကိုဆိုလို့ချင်တာ
When we have that compassion, that deep compassion, then it's possible to settle deeply into a peaceful, serene clarity.
အဲ့လိုဒါနမြောက်တဲ့လူဖြစ်သွားတယ်တရားရှိလာတဲ့ဟာပြောတာတရားရှိလာတဲ့ဟာဒီနေ့ဖြစ်လာတယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကိုဘာဖြစ်ချင်တယ်ဘာလို့ချင်တယ်ဆိုတဲ့ဟာကိုပို့ပြီးတော့သိလာတယ်တဲ့
We settle into a deep state of equanimity. Oh, the word equanimity. Settle into a deep state of equanimity and abide there. Simply abide there without trying to tell anyone what to do or how to be.
ဆိုတော့သူဆိုလို့ချင်တာအဲ့လိုမျိုးတရားရပြီးတော့စိတ်ကိုတအားညင်ပြီးတော့ဒါနမြင့်တဲ့စိတ်ကိုရောက်သွားတယ်ပေါ့နော်စိတ်တဲ့နေရာတရားကြတဲ့နေရာတစ်ခုကိုရောက်သွားတယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အဲ့ဒီလူဟာအဲ့ဒီမှာပဲနေပြီးတော့အဲ့ဒီတရားနဲ့ကြည့်ပြီးတော့နေရ
To settle into that place and to spend time in that place then allows us to take the next step. That is, from that place of clarity, it's possible to see ourselves and the world in a new way and to receive a new kind of wisdom about how we should live our lives.
So အဲ့ဒီကနေတစ်ဆင့်ပြီးတော့နောက်တစ်ဆင့်ထပ်တူမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့ဘဝတွေဘယ်လိုနေရမလဲဘယ်လိုထိုင်ရမလဲဆိုတဲ့ဟာတွေပို့ပြီးတော့ရှင်းလင်းလာတယ်တကယ်တော့ဒါနမြတ်ပြီးတော့တရားကြားတဲ့နေရာတစ်ခုရောက်သွားတာပြောတာနော်ခဏလေးနေရာနေတစ်ဆင့်
But it's necessary for us to spend time in that peaceful, serene, quiet place.
ဒါမဲ့လိုအပ်တာကခဏလေးမျိုးအခြေလေးမှာပေါ့နော်အခြေအနေလေးမှာဒါနမြတ်ပြီးတော့ကုသိုလ်တွေပါတွေလုပ်နိုင်တဲ့စိတ်တရားကြတဲ့စိတ်လေးမှာလည်းကိုကအချိန်ဆွဲပြီးတော့နေဖို့အချိန်ကြာလေးနေဖို့လည်းလိုအပ်တယ်
To spend time in the stillness.
ငြိမ်ငြိမ်လေးနဲ့အေးချမ်းချမ်းနဲ့ပေါ့နော်စိတ်ကိုငြိမ်ငြိမ်ထားပြီးတော့ဒါနမြတ်အောင်လုပ်ဖို့လိုတယ်
And from that stillness, insight, awareness, even awareness about how to live our lives can arise.
အဲ့ဒီကနေတစ်စိတ်မှတရားတွေရပြီးတော့ဘဝကိုဘယ်လိုနေရမလဲရှေ့ဆက်ဘယ်လိုရှာရမလဲဆိုတဲ့တရားတွေကိုရတာ
I was speaking with Rabbi Jan, who is a local Jewish leader, teacher. And she was saying that something that they sometimes say is that prayer is kind of like calling God on the phone and then telling God everything that we think he should do by now. And then as soon as we're finished talking, we hang up.
သူက Rabbi ဂျူဘာသာသိတယ်မလားဂျူဘာသာဆရာတယောက်သူနဲ့စကားပြောတယ်တဲ့ဒီနေ့ကအဲ့ဒီသူတို့ပြောတဲ့ဟာတော့ဆူတောင်းတဲ့ဟာနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးသူကဆူတောင်းပြီးတော့ပုံချလိုက်တာလေ
And so we don't listen. We don't spend time listening. And it's particularly confusing for us because if we keep listening and we don't hang up, oftentimes we'll just hear silence.
ဆိုတော့သူတို့ကြုံရပြောမှဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့သူကဆူတောင်းနေပေမဲ့အဲ့ဒီနှစ်ယောက်ကဖုန်းထဲမှာတောင်းတာတယောက်နဲ့တယောက်ချိန်ပြီးတော့နားမထောင်ကြဘူးဆိုတော့ငင်းဆိုတဲ့နေရာလေးကမရှိခဲ့ဘူး
And we think, well, I guess God doesn't have anything to say. And so we stop listening without understanding that that silence is an opportunity for us to practice listening to what we cannot hear. And this wisdom comes in a form that's beyond what we can hear.
ဆိုတော့လူတွေကပြောတယ်ပြောပြီးတော့ဆူတောင်းတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ဘာမှမရဘူးမရတော့အော်ဒီဖျားကဘာမှမပေးဘူးပေါ့ဒါပေမဲ့လူအပ်တဲ့ဟာပါလဲဆိုတော့အဲ့လိုစိတ်ငြိမ်ပြီးတော့နားထောင်တဲ့နေရာလေးကမရှိတဲ့ဘူးတဲ့တယောက်နဲ့တယောက်နားထောင်တာမရှိဘူးအဲ့ဒီဟာကနားထောင်နေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အဲ့ဒီနားထောင်တဲ့စွမ်းလေးကတစ်စင်ရတဲ့တရားကနေတာမဟုတ်ဘူးတဲ့
The Buddha said, if you see my body, you don't really see me. If you hear my voice, you don't really hear me. We enter a place of stillness without form, without sound, a quiet, serene place, and then we settle in and listen.
ဘုရားကပြောခဲ့ပုံလေတဲ့နေကငါးတန်ကြားတယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒါနေကငါးတန်ကြားတာလည်းမလို့ပေါ့ငါပြောတဲ့ဟာနားထောင်နေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်နားထောင်တဲ့ဟာလည်းမလို့ပေါ့အဲ့ဒီကနေတစ်စင်မှတကယ်ပဲကြားပြီးတော့တကယ်နားထောင်တယ်နည်းနည်းအထက်ရင်တက်တိချက်ပြီးတော့ငြင်းညမ်းမှုရလာတဲ့တစ်စင်ကိုရောက်တဲ့ဟာမှာတကယ်နားထောင်ပြီးတကယ်ကြားတယ်ဘုရားပြောခဲ့ပုံလေ
And that is true prayer.
အဲ့လိုမျိုးဟာမှာတကယ်ဆုတောင်းတာတကယ်အောင်မြင်တယ်လို့ဆိုလို့ချင်တယ်
That's prayer that will change our lives into a life that changes the world.
အဲ့လိုမျိုးဆုတောင်းမှုတွေဟာမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့ဘဝတွေတကယ်ပြောင်းလဲစေတယ်ကဘာရုံနဲ့တကယ်ပြောင်းလဲစေတယ်
It's like, as the Buddha said, it's as if you have milk. You have milk, and then let it settle in stillness, and then you can separate from that milk the cream. And then it's possible, again, to separate ghee from the cream. In this way, we have a process of settling, process of working it. We work it into butter. We can separate out the ghee. We go from milk to cream to ghee. There's a step-by-step process of both stillness and skillfulness of working as that process proceeds.
ဘုရားကဥမာပေးလေးရှိတယ်အဲ့ဒါကတော့နွားနို့ပေါ့နော်နွားနို့ကိုညီကြည့်လိုက်တော့နွားနို့ပေါ့နွားနို့ခဏလေးထားလိုက်တယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သူကအရေးကြီးနဲ့အရေးနှောင်းနဲ့နို့စစ်စစ်ကိုခွဲထွက်တတ်တယ်တဲ့နို့စစ်စစ်ခွဲထုတ်လိုက်ပြီးတော့အဲ့ဒီနို့စစ်စစ်ကိုတကယ်နောက်ထပ်တစ်ခါထားလိုက်ပါတဲ့အဲ့ဒီကနေနောက်ထပ်အရေးတွေပြန်ထွက်လာလိမ့်မယ်တဲ့တကယ်ထက်နေတဲ့နို့စစ်စစ်ကိုပြန်ရမယ်တဲ့အဲ့ဒီတစ်စက်နောက်ထပ်လည်းထပ်စစ်လို့ရသေးတယ်ဘဝဆိုတာလည်းလို့ပေါ့တွေ့ကြုံဆိုတာလည်းအဲ့လိုပေါ့အဲ့လိုမျိုးတစ်ဖြည်းဖြည်းတစ်စစ်ချင်းနည်းနည်းလေးဟာလုပ်တယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တရားရတဲ့အကြောင်း
And in the same way, we begin with a kind of prayer in which we have a lot to say, we feel a lot, and it's somewhat selfish.
အဲ့လိုပဲတဲ့ဟိုပါလေစွတောင်းနေဆိုတာလေကိုကတော့စွတောင်းလိုက်တာပဲတဲ့ဟိုဟုတ်ဒီဖြစ်စေဟုတ်ဒီဖြစ်စေစွတောင်းလိုက်တာပဲ
We can then separate out the skill of arousing compassion from that selfishness. And we have that skill itself that can be applied to everyone.
အဲ့ဒီအနေနဲ့စင်ကခဏဒုတိယဆင့်လိုပဲပေါ့နော်လို့ရည်ရည်လို့ကြည့်လို့နဲ့လို့နည်းနေတဲ့ဟာရအောင်ကိုကစွတောင်းနေတဲ့ဟာတကယ်ဖြစ်လာတဲ့ဟာမျိုးရှိတယ်လို့လည်းရတဲ့တွေ့ကြုံနေရလာတယ်ဒါဒုတိယဆင့်
And then we take that universal compassion that's still involved in a lot of conceptualization, and we separate out, we work with it, so that we simply have compassion itself, the felt experience of compassion, without all of our concepts and orders and instructions added on.
အဲ့ဒီအနေနဲ့စင်ခဏပြောတဲ့တရားတို့ဒါနတို့ရလာတယ်တကယ်ကိုမြတ်တဲ့စိတ်တွေရလာတယ်ဒါတို့တတိယဆင့်နွားလို့
And then, from that place, we settle into stillness. And that's the ghee, you could say. And with that stillness, we can receive a wisdom that we could not have imagined.
အဲ့ဒီအနေနဲ့စင်ဒီတကယ်နှစ်ရှိတဲ့တကယ်ဟိုကောင်းတဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့တရားတွေဒါနတွေတကယ်လူပေါ်ယူချင်းမြတ်လို့စိတ်သက်တွေတကယ်ရလာတယ်ပေါ့ဆိုတော့အဲ့လိုတစ်စစ်ချင်းလုပ်ချင်အောင်ဒီပုံညနေတဲ့ဟာရလာတဲ့တရား
So, let's practice each of these types of prayer.
ကိုစာပြီးတော့ခဏပြောခဲ့တဲ့ဟာနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတရားထိုင်တယ်ကျင့်တယ်
Translating this hard or not. Take a moment to straighten up, straighten your back, and settle in. Just say that.
ข้าวเพียงป่ะแต่ตั้งแต่ไทยมาอันนี้ก็ไม่มาที่นี่
Posture is very important in this practice.
แต่โน่นนั่นเนี่ยเราเยี่ยมที่ไทยนั่นเนี่ยมันเข้ากัน
And having found a posture that is upright and alert, and also settled and relaxed, bring your attention to a prayer that you have. A prayer that you have. It could be for yourself, it could be for someone else, it could be for the whole world. Could be a prayer for just one person, for a few people, for many people, or a prayer of universal compassion. In any case, find that prayer and say it. Say it to whatever entity you'd like. It could be the Buddha, a bodhisattva, a god, a saint, or no particular entity at all. Say it, and say it, and say it. You can say just one sentence again and again. You can elaborate on that sentence. Say it in different ways, explain it. Describe it from different perspectives. All of that's fine. But continue to verbally voice in your mind your prayer. It's okay if it stays the same. It's okay if it evolves. Simply continue to voice it in your mind. And as you voice it diligently with concentration, begin to pay attention to how you feel. How does this prayer make you feel? What feelings arise with this? Feelings of love, gratitude, joy. What feelings come up? And begin to use the words in order to cultivate those feelings. So that this is a practice of cultivating a mind and a body, meaning the felt sensations, of compassion. Once again, be diligent about repeating these words in your mind. But the emphasis is on using those words to bring forth a sense of compassion. A feeling in your body of compassion. Various emotions may arise as you do this, some positive, some negative, but even if negative emotions are arising, pay attention to the positive, the joy, the gratitude, the love. It's not about getting rid of the negative. It's about attending to the positive. Using the words in order to focus on the positive, compassionate, emotional experiences, cultivating them. Encouraging them through your attention to fill your body. And without any rush, accepting that this may be difficult to maintain this kind of concentration. That's okay if it is. It may be very enjoyable and easy, but it may be difficult, challenging. Without fighting against that, either way, without any rush, gradually, without rushing, set aside the words. To whatever extent you can until the feelings start to drop away. You may find that if you drop the words, the feelings have more room to grow. If so, wonderful. Allow that to happen. You may find that once you drop the words, the tension becomes scattered and the feelings disperse. If so, return to the words. See if it's possible to any extent to maintain those positive, compassionate, joyful, grateful, loving feelings, even without the concepts about how things should be. Bring the prayer down out of your head with the words that are helpful for establishing concentration, but now can be dropped a little bit as we bring the prayer down from our heads into our hearts, into our bodies. The emphasis is on how we feel. Even though we still may be saying certain things in order to keep those feelings alive, the emphasis is on how we feel. If you'd like a little help bringing forth those positive emotions with your body rather than with thoughts, feel free to bring a little smile to your face. A little smile representing the happiness within compassion. Whatever way works for you. Also feel free to change your posture. Find a different posture that works better for you. You may stand, lie down, even walking is a valid meditation position. Gradually bringing your attention from your head to your heart, from your thoughts to your body, still using those thoughts as a support if necessary, but most of the attention on how we feel. These thoughts we can use in this situation, but as we move through our day, daily activities require us to think about other things. Therefore, we practice just feeling this prayer, because even while we do other things and think about other things, we can still feel this. And what we feel, we will act from. How we feel is how we behave. Our body feels and our body acts. Therefore, practice feeling this. It's a practice. It takes diligence, effort, and skill. And as you cultivate the feelings of compassion, setting aside thinking bit by bit, coming into your body through patience, diligence, effort, skill, practice. Gradually allow yourself then to settle even more deeply into bodily stillness, emotional rest, a feeling of peace. Your mind, having already quieted down somewhat, has led your body to now settle down somewhat, so that your attention is now on quiet in your mind and peace in your body. It's very good that we haven't rushed this process. Very often we want to jump right into this sense of peace. We don't want to go through prayer, good intentions, compassion, and such. But it's very important to lay that foundation. And we've done that today. If you want to lay that foundation a little more, please do that. Just continue to pray in words, pray in feelings. Settle into those feelings, and then settle into stillness. times. Again, you can go through this process as many times as you'd like. Verbal prayer, emotional prayer, verbal quiet, emotional peace. This is a practice. If your body is uncomfortable, you can move it, or you can pay attention to another part of your body that is comfortable, that has a sense of peace, or another pleasant experience, joy, gratitude, love. Or you may examine that part of your body. See if you can relax it a little bit. See if you can move it a little bit to soothe it. See if, even though it's uncomfortable, perhaps you can find peace or happiness there. And that way, settle deeply through practice, patience, effort, skill. Settle deeply into stillness. From that place of stillness, is there something that we need to hear? We can open up to them. Is there something we need to hear? Is there something we need to feel? Without producing anything, without pushing. But simply waiting in the stillness. Open, receptive, and clear. parts of that technique that are effortless, and those are good parts. It's good to enjoy that. And there are parts of that technique that are effortful, and that's good because that creates the momentum that carries techniques like this into the rest of our lives. Well, thank you for doing that practice together. This is a time for questions, comments, discussion.
I'll be interpreting first.
Yeah, you know, that I haven't seen it yet. In January, so you know, people are in Nikunam, people are seeing. The same year, see that. See, the young people, minimum, think no.
I have comments I'd like to discuss. No questions.
National Canada, the same year, which now you are the same year time seen. Yeah, you can. I don't listen now, you are not now, soon you talk with me. Now you send a poor palado, John Johnson, Saddle, go to me back, soon you got go to piano.
Tonight we sit here, there are 22 people. In our village where we sit, there's hundreds of people. I think that we're meant to meet here today, and that's why we meet all of us today. I think this is something, and I consider you all as brothers and sisters.
Now we are temple 10 lim to Sikalim to Dana. Do you say I'm you say my net and cut and cut and line. Dama Eddie Simon Chacking up and never Simon China up to Tau. Amada Chitalan Namely, Chitan Nile, Lamland.
We sit differently, even positions we sit, but I like the difference. I have leg pains. When that happens, I may not be able to participate every week, but I enjoy the way we sit here.
You know, Sarah, Peter Piano, Comrade, you know, Pena, Fit Kuya, Uma, you are left on there, don't pure man. Blue together. To draw, Tanga, a cape on a tan, Greta and Junior, Carbon Tanamia. Greta Tanaluga, a chica, Siwe, Samta, Pima Tan, Tanamia.
Seattle here, Seattle means big teacher, respected teacher. The way you teach, I like very much. Thank you very much. I would like to tell how we sit here to my villagers, because sitting in a chair, on a chair, is not the way we sit in our village. Only people who have positions, or people who are rich, or people who are well respected in the community are able to sit in chairs. However, here we sit, everyone sits the way we want. I love it very much.
You know, say to one, they are 10, they are Yara, choose at kid, choose some I am at there. But they are 10, do not temple 10 years. Couldn't want to go, oh, you are not temple. Say I don't mean good time, say I will kill on it, take away, mad. Send him up here, you be mad. I was saying, It is said of the mind and keep it mind. You might be to a theo. The young and papa, Jama lifting it.
I have meditated many times. It is a hard job. You have to suffer many ways. I have done it many times in my village as well. I think I would not so good I would like to have some I would like to have some enlightenment in my life before I die.
Sarah, pretty, Sarah, Julia, no, you know, it is a young man, Julia, but in a dual and thin, through in China, through like hair, Sarah, at the put it. I know Sarah, just me, the people don't all just me. Tell them go level, you go on my all Jamama.
Thank you very much, Seattle. Thank you all very much for letting me participate today.
Well, it's very fortunate for us that you've come and that you've participated and that you've spoken. And thank you for the experience and the brotherhood, the sisterhood that you bring.
I would just like to say that we wish your whole village could be here.
Very far. I have to be on a plane for 24 hours. Kuthu means you did something in the past and then you deserve it at this life. So we have done something together in the past that we get to meet here today. So it's because of Kuthu that we all meet here today.
Some of us might wish we had the karma go through to meet back in the village.
The children are and there is a full drama. Do the time do I know my very karma did that. What later? Which is a natural.
Which is in
One day, in Burmese is Wujui.
Wujui means if.
Karma.
Karma.
Wujui Shigayin then dream.
It seems that we have at least a little bit of good Burmese karma But maybe we have more also.
ပမာဝတ္ထုကောင်းပါပဲဒီနေ့နဲ့ကုပမာကိုညံလာတယ်ဆိုတော့ဒီနေ့ဒီခုပါထိုင်နေပြီညံလာတယ်ပမာပြန်လို့ပေါ့ကျွန်တော်
ဒါတော့ဒီလိုကပမာမဟုတ်ဗျဒီလိုကတော့ကရင်ဒါတော့ကရင်တက်ပဲလားပမာပြီးပဲနေ
even though we're from Burma we're not Burmese Burmese is used as a nationality from everyone from Burma but there's a majority the Burmans are the majority in Burma I am a Burman and they are the Karen ethnic we speak different languages they speak Burmese since I'm the dominant one I don't speak Burmese I mean I don't speak their language the Karen but everyone else speak Burmese so the Burman the Burmese ethnic they're the Karen and the nationality for people from Burma are Burmese so we're all not Burmese literally And I don't like Burmese, so don't think that I am.
I'm very happy to see people sitting on cushion on the ground again.
Yeah.
That encourages me the next time they go cushion.
That's good. Put out some cushions today. Feel free to bring your own. There's a free spot right there right now if anyone wants to take it. And if possible, of course, sit on the ground. It's a more natural way to do this practice. And as I said, posture is very important. And the easiest way to maintain the posture is to be on the ground with our legs crossed.
Where can we get the sitting pillows? Like the ones from your monastery,
I don't know. I don't know if they're around here. Does anyone know where you can get them around here?
You can buy them in Burlington.
Can you?
The Spirit Dancer, is that what it's called?
Spirit Dancer.
They sell them there. But it might be expensive, but on is it Winooski by the library downtown Burlington.
I think I want to own one.
I own two. I'll bring one extra next time.
Great, thank you. As all of you probably know, I'm the sort of person who feels quite comfortable sitting in silence, so it's fine if we do that for the next 15 minutes or so, but if there are any other questions or comments, please feel free to bring those up.
we have a couple of families who have children, a year-old to 13-year-old, and it's hard to cultivate the children toward Buddhist way of living. Buddhism is, as many people know, is way from our culture as well. So they're a little worried that they won't be able to cultivate their kids toward living as a Buddhist way of living. And they're asking if at all possible. There's only 4, as far as I know. If you would be interested in teaching them a little bit by bit.
Yeah, it's something that we might be able to do here. We're fortunate to have that room over there. So it's possible that we could run some kind of children's program over there at the same time that we're running this program for adults here. It might also help certain adults who have children to come if there's a kind of childcare available. So I think that is possible, and I think it's very, very good to do that. It's not easy to maintain these traditions either in their cultural form or in their deeper form, in the spiritual form. And so it's very good to set aside time and energy to do that. I think it's something that we might be able to do. It's just a matter of finding people who could lead that. People who would be able to be right in there and make that happen. But I think it's likely that we could do it, and perhaps, as I say, who knows, maybe other people would be interested in bringing children. Another way to do it, of course, is to bring our program into schools. So that's our way of trying to bring some of this to everyone. So it's possible that they'll meet that in the schools, especially if they're in Winooski. Possible that'll happen.
And Burlington.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't have it in nearly as many classrooms in Burlington, but it's possible. So to bring it in, to make that happen, that's another way to do it. And the parents, of course, have a great deal of power in those schools, so it is possible to do that.
Can I tell that very briefly?
Yeah, of course.
ကျမမေးတဲ့လေးကိုတကယ်လို့ကလေးလေးတွေခေါ်လာခြင်းလို့ရှိရင်ရမလားပေါ့နော်နည်းနည်းမှတင်မင်းလားလို့ကျမမေးကြည့်လို့ရတယ်တဲ့သူစိတ်ဝင်စားတယ်တဲ့ဘုမခဏခဏရှိတယ်တဲ့ဆိုတော့တကယ်လို့အတိမလည်းကလေးရှိတယ်မလားအမီးလေးတွေခေါ်လာလို့ရတယ်ကြည့်ရွှေကြည်လင်းလို့ကြည့်ရွှေလို့လည်းနောက်ကြရင်ပေါ့နော်တကယ်လို့စိတ်ဝင်စားရင်ဒီလိုအားလို့ဟောကတာလေးပါလည်းနည်းပါတင်ပြီးတော့ခေးမှုနဲ့စိတ်ဝင်စားလို့ကျမမေးခိုင်းတာပေါ့သူတို့မျိုးသူတို့စိတ်ဝင်စားတယ်တဲ့အဲ့လိုလုပ်ပေးမဲ့လူရှိတယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကောင်းတာပေါ့။ကျောင်းရင်းမှာလည်းသူတို့လူစီစဉ်ရှိတယ်။ဒီမှာကြိုက်ရင်လည်းလုပ်နိုင်ကောင်းတာပေါ့။
You think that any of these folks know my mother by any chance?
ဂျူဒီကိုသိလား။ဂျူဒီတူနေတယ်။ဒီလိုကတော့ဂျူဒီရှိတော့ဒုက္ခတွေရင်းရုံမှာလုပ်တဲ့ဂျူဒီ။
ကျွန်တော်ကြည့်တယ်ဆရာတော်များဆောင်းနေတယ်
ဂျူဒီပါလား
ဂျူဒီဟိုအရင်ဒုက္ခတွေရင်းမှာလုပ်တယ်
ဟုတ်တယ်ဆရာတော်အမောဆရာတော်ပေါ်ကြီးအမော
ယို
ရော
ဂျူဒီ
ဒီကုမတီတော့
They came out
ဖမီးရဲ့သိတယ်
So, many of you know that my mother was the director of the Vermont Refugee Resettlement Program for a number of years.
သိတယ်မလားတဲ့ငါမေကအရင်ကအဲ့ဒီမှာဒုက္ခတွေရင်းမှာဒါရိုက်တာလုပ်ခဲ့ဘူးလေတဲ့
And she did that for a number of different reasons. She chose that work. She chose to give her life to that work for a number of different reasons.
သူ့လိုလုပ်ခက်တာသူ့မှာကြောင်းရင်းတွေအများကြီးရှိတယ်တဲ့ဒုက္ခတွေကိုကြီးခဲ့တာပေါ့နော်
The reason which she said the most, the reason that seemed most useful for fundraising and getting volunteers and such, is that we Vermonters should help refugees. We Vermonters should create a place for refugees to flourish in our community.
ကြောင်းရင်းတစ်ခုကတော့ပေါ့နော်ဒုက္ခတွေကိုကူညီခြင်းလို့ပေါ့နော်ဒုက္ခရောက်တဲ့လူတွေပြီးတော့ Vermont မှာနေတဲ့လူတွေကလည်းဒုက္ခတွေဒုက္ခရောက်တဲ့လူတွေကူညီသင့်တယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့သူ့ရဲ့ယုံကြည်မှုအဲ့ဒီလိုလုပ်ခက်တာ
So she said that a lot. She said it to a lot of people. We Vermonters are kind, and we should help other people who are less fortunate.
တခြားသူတွေလည်းသူကပြောလို့ရှိတယ်တဲ့ငါတို့ Vermont မှာနေတဲ့လူတွေကပေါ့နော်ကျင်နာတရားရှိတယ်တော်တဲ့တက်လူတွေဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒီမှာနေတဲ့အိမ်တွေအဲ့ဒါကြောင့်တခြားသူတွေကူညီသင့်တယ်ပေါ့သူ့ရဲ့အဲ့ဒီသူများနဲ့အများတွေ့တယ်
But in private, to me, to my family, her close friends, she said that that isn't the real reason that she worked so hard to bring refugees to Vermont.
ဒါမှလည်းအိမ်မှာကျတော့သူ့မိကတခြားသူတွေကျတော့အဲ့လိုမျိုးပြောတော့အိမ်မှာကျတော့သူ့ရဲ့မောင်နှမတွေသူ့ရဲ့သားသမီးတွေကျတော့ဒီလိုမျိုးပြောတတ်တယ်တဲ့ဘယ်လိုပြောလဲဆိုပြီးပြန်
She said, "Of course, I'm happy if it benefits the refugees. That's fine. I hope it does benefit the refugees. I know and love everyone who comes here, but that isn't the reason that I originally got into this work."
ကောင်းတာပေါ့နော်လူတွေကလူတွေတရားလေးရောက်ကူညီနိုင်ကောင်းတာပေါ့မမမရှိတဲ့လူတွေကတော့ကူညီနိုင်ကောင်းတာပေါ့နော်ဒါပေမဲ့လည်းသူဒီလုပ်ကိုလုပ်တာတကယ်ကြောင်းရတော့အဲ့ဒါမဟုတ်ဘူးတဲ့
The most basic reason is actually that I'm a Vermonter and I want to help Vermonters.
တကယ်အကြောင်းရင်းကဘာလဲဆိုတော့ငါသူ့မိသားပေါ့နော်တကယ်အကြောင်းရင်းဒုက္ခတွေကိုမြင်ရတဲ့အကြောင်းရင်းကငါလည်း Vermont မှာနေတဲ့လူတယောက်ဖြစ်တယ် Vermont ပြည်နယ်သားဖြစ်တယ်ငါရဲ့ပြည်သူပြည်သားတွေကကူညီခြင်းတယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်ငါလုပ်တယ်လို့ပြောတယ်
I'm an American and I want to help Americans.
ပြီးတော့ပြောရမယ်ဆိုရင်ငါအမေရိကန်တယောက်လည်းဖြစ်တယ်အမေရိကန်လည်းငါကူညီခြင်းတယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်ငါဒီလိုလုပ်တယ်လို့ပြောတယ်
She said that I can see that America and also Vermont, we're stuck, we're narrow-minded, and we're unaware of how big the world really is.
ဆိုလိုချင်တာကသူ့မိထင်တာကဒုက္ခတွေတွေကနေတစ်စစ်ဒီနိုင်ငံပေါ့နော်အမေရိကန်နိုင်ငံဒီပြည်နယ်မှာနေတဲ့လူတွေအများကြီးသိယူလိမ့်မယ်ပေါ့နော်ဆိုတော့ငါတို့ရဲ့ဘုံပြည်နယ်မှာရှိတဲ့လူတွေကအမြင်ကျဉ်းမြောင်းနေပေါ့နော်ကဘာရုပ်လည်းကျဉ်းကျဉ်းလေးပဲမြင်နေပေါ့နော်ဒုက္ခတွေကူညီငါနိုင်ငံကူညီတာလည်းတူတူပဲဆိုပြီးတော့သူကအဲ့ဒါကြောင့်အဲ့ဒီလိုလုပ်တယ်လို့ပြောတယ်ဟဲ့
And because of that, we act like children. And we're unable to see things clearly and act in mature ways.
အမေရိကန်တွေကကျင်းမြောင်းနေမြင်ချင်းတာကျင်းမြောင်းနေပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်မလို့ငါတို့တွေကခလေးလိုပဲပေါ့နော်စဉ်းစားရင်တွေးခေါ်ရင်ခလေးလိုပဲတွေးခေါ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်ငါတို့ရဲ့လုပ်ပုံကံပုံတွေလည်းခလေးဆန်နေလို့ပြောတယ်ဟဲ့သူတွေ
And she said, of course, everyone around the world is stuck and narrow-minded and immature in some ways. But we're stuck and narrow-minded and immature in different ways.
So weပြောရဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့ကဘာတိုင်းမှာလူတွေလူကတော့ဟိုပါတယ်ခလေးလိုပဲဟိုဖြစ်တယ်ပြီးတော့ခလေးလိုပဲဟိုတတိမမူနေကြတာပေါ့နော်ဒါမှလည်းအမေရိကန်တွေရဲ့ပုံစံတခြားသူတွေတောင်မသိသေးဘူးလို့ပြောတယ်တဲ့ပုံစိုးတယ်လို့ပြောတယ်တဲ့
Of course, there are problems everywhere, but there are different problems everywhere.
ပြဿနာဆိုတာနေရာတိုင်းမှာရှိတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့လည်းပြဿနာဖြစ်ပုံဖြစ်နေရတယ်မတူကြဘူးလို့သူနေတယ်တဲ့
And there are good things also everywhere. And that's because there's different wisdom in different places, in different cultures. Different people see things clearly in different ways.
ယဉ်ကျေးမှုတိုင်းကမြင်နိုင်လည်းမတူဘူးမြင်ချင်းလည်းမတူဘူးပေါ့ဆိုတော့သူတို့မြင်တဲ့ဟာနဲ့ကိုမြင်တဲ့ဟာနဲ့လည်းမတူဘူးတချို့ယဉ်ကျေးမှုတွေကလည်းကောင်းကောင်းမြင်နေတယ်တချို့တွေကလည်းမမြင်နိုင်ဘူးပေါ့
The danger, however, for us, especially in the United States, is that we don't see clearly how narrow-minded we are and how much we have to learn.
အမေရိကန်တွေရဲ့အန်တီဂျီကဘာလဲဆိုတော့ငါတို့တွေကပေါ့နော်ကြည်ကြည်လင်လင်နဲ့ရှင်းရှင်းလင်းလင်းနဲ့ပြဿနာတွေမြင်နိုင်ဘူးအဲ့လိုမျိုးမြင်နိုင်တော့ပြဿနာကကြီးတာပေါ့နော်ပို့ပြီး
Now, of course, there are good things here. Very kind. Vermont has been one of the most successful states, actually, in the country. We're somewhat famous for being so welcoming, for example, to refugees. There are many things that we have to be proud of.
ပြန်ကြည့်မယ်ဆိုရင်တော့ဟုတ်ပါတယ်ဗမာကဒီကနေ့ကောင်းတဲ့ပြည်နယ်ဖြစ်တယ်ဒုက္ခတွေတွေ့ဆိုတကယ်ကိုကောင်းတဲ့ပြည်နယ်ဖြစ်တယ်ပြည်နယ်52ပြည်နယ်မှာဒီပြည်နယ်ဒုက္ခတွေတွေ့ကောင်းဆုံးပြည်နယ်တွေပြောကြကြတယ်တဲ့ကောင်းတဲ့ဟာတွေလည်းရှိပါတယ်တဲ့ဗမာ
But there are other things that we can do better at. And the best chance of us to do better is to learn how other people are already doing it better.
ဆိုတော့ဟုတ်တယ်တခြားကောင်းတဲ့ဟာတွေလည်းရှိတယ်မကောင်းတဲ့ဟာတွေလည်းရှိတယ်ဆိုတော့အဲ့လိုမျိုးတိုးတက်ချင်တယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တခြားရည်စည်းမှုတွေတခြားသူတွေပြပြတဲ့ဟာတွေသင်ယူမှသာကိုဟာကိုလည်းကောက်အောင်လုပ်နိုင်တာတဲ့
So the reason I'm saying all this is that for you to preserve your culture, for you to teach your children to preserve the language, the culture, the spirituality, the community, for that to be able to flourish in our community, I think that's good for you. But I know that's good for everyone here.
ခဏကကျမတို့အနေနဲ့ကလေးတွေကိုကိုရွရရရင်ချင်းမှုတိုင်းပေါ့နော်ဘုရားဘာသာတွေဖြစ်ခိုင်းစေခြင်းလို့ကလေးတွေသင်ပေးခြင်းလို့ဆိုတဲ့ဟာတကယ်တော့ကောင်းတဲ့ဟာဖြစ်တယ်တဲ့အဲ့ဒီဟာကကောင်းတဲ့ကျင့်ဖြစ်တဲ့လူမျိုးကျွန်တော်တို့လိုခုလိုမျိုးထိန်းသိမ်းထားတဲ့ပြည်နယ်သူတို့ကလည်းကျမတို့စီကနေတစ်ဆင့်သိနိုင်တယ်အဲ့ဒီဟာကကျွန်တော်တို့အတွက်ကြီးကောင်းတာမဟုတ်ဘူးဒီနိုင်ငံကြီးအတွက်လည်းကောင်းတယ်
And so know that the efforts you put into teaching your children are actually efforts you're putting into teaching our society.
ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့ကလေးတွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ကြိုးစားပန်းစားသင်ယူခိုင်းစေခြင်းတဲ့ဟာတွေပေါ့နော်ကြိုးစားပြီးတော့ဘုရားဘာသာဖြစ်အောင်လုပ်ဖြစ်တဲ့ခြင်းဟာကျွန်တော်တို့ကလေးတွေလည်းကောင်းတယ်ဒီအမေရိကန်လူပေါင်းတွေလည်းကောင်းတယ်
And that's the reason I'm so interested in being of service in that way.
အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်မလို့သူကကလေးလေးတွေကိုသင်ပေးခိုင်းစေခြင်းနဲ့ဆိုပြီးကြိုးစားပြီးတော့လုပ်ပြီးတကယ်စိတ်ဝင်စားတယ်တဲ့
I'm so grateful myself for having been able to train in other cultures and have my American narrow-mindedness beaten out of me. That I want to express that gratitude by making it possible for people who aren't so fortunate, who don't have the karma, to go over to Asia, to nonetheless receive a taste of the wisdom that is manifest in your community every day.
သူလည်းတခြားနိုင်ငံတွေမှာအာရှနိုင်ငံဂျပန်နဲ့အိန္ဒိယမှာလည်းသွားသင်ခဲ့တယ်တဲ့အဲ့လိုကနေတစ်ဆင့်သူရဲ့ကျင်းရောက်တဲ့အမေရိကန်မြေကိုသူကရိုက်ချူခဲ့ရတာတဲ့ခုလိုမျိုးကျွန်တော်တို့နေဒီကိုလာပြီးတော့လာလို့မကောင်းတာပေါ့နော်သူတို့ကုန်လုံးလည်းဝိုးတွေပါလေပြီးတော့ပမာပြည်မှာသွားပြီးတော့သွားလို့ရတယ်တိတ်ကမှာပဲတဲ့ခုလိုမျိုးကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမှာခုလိုမျိုးနေနေတာကသူစီမှာလာပြီးတော့လာလို့တာတကယ်ကိုကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်တဲ့
ဆရာတော်ဒီဆရာတော်ဘယ်လိုရရင် ဒီရထိုင်မှာအများကြီးတွေ့မှာ
If Seattle goes to Burma, Seattle means you. Seattle will see many thousands of people meditating.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I would very much enjoy going to Burma. We'll see if I have that karma.
Whatever they do, whatever they might be, come on. He says,
So, thank you for joining us this evening. Now's the time that we talk about how to serve the world. I can say for myself that this coming weekend I won't be here. I won't lead next Sunday here because I'll be in White River Junction, where there's a climate and spirituality conference. What's the relationship between the horrifying situation of global warming, situation that of course impacts the United States, it also impacts Burma very much, and all of our brothers and sisters around the world, and not only the human ones, but all living beings on this planet are being impacted by the horror of global warming. So how is it that spirituality can face and contribute to the resolution of that problem? That's the purpose of this conference that's happening over 2 days in White River Junction. It would be great to see everyone there. Hope to see many of you there. There are a few more cards on the table describing it. It's on the 15th and 16th, and you can ask me further questions if you'd like, or take one of those cards, or look it up online. I'll also be with Tata and a few of the residents leading a portion of the opening ceremony. So that would be Saturday morning at 9:30, and maybe you'll be there to hear us chant in order to open the conference. Anything else? Mm-hmm.
I think on the 10th there is planet, people in the planet, and they are meeting outside of the Davis Center and walking down to the governor's debate, and standing out there and getting indigenous just getting out there, and you can look it up on Facebook.
Yeah, I have a few more
Yeah.
details too. Thanks for introducing. It's at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Indigenous Peoples Day, not Columbus Day anymore.
Yes, exactly.
I think he changed it for 1 year.
For 1 year, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's he?
Governor.
Governor Sean.
We can change it. Let's change it. Change.
For a rally for people in the planet over profits starts at the Davis Center at 5 tomorrow. Everyone walks down to the DoubleTree in South Burlington along Route 2 there, and more rallies and speakers outside the governor's debate to really bring attention to these important issues of climate change. We're not calling it climate change now, right? Global warming. Global warming solidarity with people against the pipeline in South Dakota and the actions people are taking here. So it would be a good way to honor Indigenous Peoples Day.
And the 20th, like the Greek Prags Park, at 8:30, in Heinsberg is the last rally of the pipeline. So
What do you mean when you say the last rally?
the last rally that yes.
It's
Yeah.
like one of the few remaining places, if not the last sort of physical place where there's some sort of chance to stop them from building the natural gas pipeline that goes like from north of Burlington down through to Rutland or something. But again, this Prags Park, however you say it, is like sort of the last place where there's a lot of resistance, and so there's hoping to be like a huge mass direct action to try and stop the pipeline there next Thursday, right? Like a week from Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
There's another piece of paper out on the table here on that. One of the things that's happening is legal action, and so we can all donate to that in order to help them to fight that fight. So the rally and the legal action, we hope, will save that park and stops that local pipeline. Very good. Well, thank you all for being here. It's wonderful to practice together. And if anyone else would like to translate in the future, please feel free. Maybe we'll have this translation happening every week.
Thank you, Taja.